folks, JD here, and today I want to look at the main differences between the SJRC Z5 and the SJRC F11. So let's start off with weight. The Z5 on the left comes in at 245 grams. That's 5 grams under the 250 gram limit, and the one on the right, the F11, that comes in at 516 grams. So there's quite a bit of a difference there. Let's talk about those differences. So on the front, you have the camera on the front of the SJRC. Right there is movable. It is motorized, movable by the transmitter. You have 4 LEDs, 2 at the front, 2 at the back. They are quite bright at short distances. At long distances, you're not going to see it. The battery life on this particular quad, now I've flown this now about 6 or 7 times. I'm getting about 20 minutes out of the battery, which isn't too bad, and that is me recording video, and I think that's okay, to be honest. I'm quite happy with that. The overall quality of this particular camera, it says it's 1080p. I think it's more like 720 personally. It is absolutely abysmal. I have tried lots of things to try and make it better. I've spoken to the company as well, and there's nothing that we can do. This quadcopter's camera is absolute terrible. It is garbage. Now, that being said, it does carry a GoPro, so I have been carrying a GoPro with it and getting that really beautiful, really crisp and really colourful GoPro images from there. As for the overall build, it does feel quite plastic, because it is very thin plastic. Now, it does feel very light as well, which is also a plus point for it to coming in under the 250 gram limit. That being said, I do look at this as SJRC's sort of budget quad. I mean, it sits at a price point of about £70 to £80, which isn't too bad at all. It has got GPS. It's extremely solid. I was so shocked at just how solid this quadcopter is that I would give it full marks on its stability and its overall flight rather than any other thing to do with the features or the camera. As for the features I didn't think were good at all. I look at these, and I often get a lot of flack for this, but I look at the features as being quite gimmicky. I have never seen, or I can't foresee, a proper real world use for Follow Me. Active track does turn around in a circle. That does work if you were to talk, if you wanted to talk and turn and walk around in a circle at the same time. As for hand gestures, taking photos, taking video, why do you want to do that when you've got a perfectly good button, 1 on the app and 2 on the transmitter? So as for features, I say this quadcopter is garbage. If you do want to have features in your quad, then don't go for SJRC Z5. If you want a nice solid flyer with GPS stability that can carry a GoPro and that has a motorized camera lens, then of course I think it's very, very good, and I think it's well worth going for that. Above anything is its flight. My god, this is so stable. It's incredibly stable. I have not had a bad flight out of it, and I've got quite a bit of distance, 175, 180 meters, no problem whatsoever. So the Z5 I think is a good budget quad, but I think if you wanted something a bit more premium, you want to go for the F11. So let's talk about the F11. So it's 516 grams. It is a lot heavier, but it feels a lot better as well. Whereas the Z5 has brushed motors, this is brushless. So you have that really powerful brushless core which is willing to take you a lot quicker. Now, the battery life in here, this is probably on my 7th or 8th flight by now, a bit more than the Z5, because I wanted to see what this was like. I've taken it to a few different places, and the battery here is about 17 to 20 minutes. 20 if I don't record any video at all, 17 if I'm recording video all the way through. Once again, the camera lens is 1080. It is motorized as well, controllable by the transmitter. I still think this camera, although better than the Z5, it is still pretty terrible. It does carry a GoPro once again, so that's essentially what I do. Just whack a GoPro onto it and just carry it around, and no problem at all. These brushless motors are extremely powerful. You get a good bit of speed. I went through a speed mode test in my original flight test that I did of this, and I was very impressed by the differences in that speed. The overall feeling and build quality of this is much more premium feel. The plastic feels thicker, the joints feel better, everything clicks into place a little bit nicer. The propellers, albeit a little bit larger obviously to compensate for the size of the quad and because of the motor style, the propellers feel to be a little bit nicer on the F11. They are cut a lot nicer as well. A lot more effort has gone into building this, but of course the price is almost double of the Z5, so therefore I would expect expect double the quality. And that is essentially, I think, what you get. Now, once again, if you want features like Follow Me, Active Track, and it's just my personal opinion, they haven't worked for me. So as a consequence, I'm not going to say that it's good from that point of view. But if you want a stable GPS quadcopter, once again, like the Z5, which is capable of flying in winds of 15 to 16 miles an hour, then I have not had a problem with the F11 at all. Now, the F11 comes into its own in so much that it is, I wouldn't say premium style when you put it next to a lot of other quads, but it's premium in SJRC's lineup, and therefore it's a very nice flyer. It has it has passable battery life, and when I say passable, I would like it to be more at the 20-minute with recording video. Okay, it's only a couple of minutes out, but still it does make the difference. The good thing about this though is that it feels premium, it looks premium. I mean, you have that excellent feel to it, it has that excellent flying style once again that just, I think, is just brilliant. And I cannot rave about this quadcopter enough. As I said, Follow Me features, Active Track worked, no problem. I eventually got Follow Me to work, although I did have a couple of issues with it as well. Hand gesture mode for taking videos and recording, photos and recording video. Once again, same as I said about the Z5, why bother when you've got a very useful transmitter and an app that both have the same feature. As for distance, I've had this out at over 200 meters, and I've had full FPV, and I've had full, although the FPV was laggy, it was still refreshing, and I had full control. Return to home functions, excellent, comes back to within 3 foot of where you took off, which is still not too bad at all. I class that as being pretty good. All in all, I'm very happy with the both, but I would say if you've got the extra money and you are 100% after an SJRC quadcopter, then I would go with the F11. If you've got a bit more money to spend, by the way, then I would not go for either of these, and I would probably go for something a little bit more like the Hubsan Zeno with its new firmware version, or something a little bit more like something that has a little bit more of a camera quadcopter style to it. These are good flying quads, but they are nowhere near a camera quadcopter, and as such should be treated as so. If you want a very stable quadcopter to get into the hobby, or if you're after a second quadcopter and you've just gone from a toy grade quad, then these are brilliant, and they won't do you wrong as far as flying goes. If you want something like a camera quad, look elsewhere. You're not going to find this, in my opinion, with these two quads at all. Alright then, my friends, I hope that's been helpful. Let me know in the comments. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.